Hello and welcome to episode number 5 of our Wheel of Clone Wars campaign. Now, in the last episode, we did see that the Malevolence has arrived with the CIS and is on Frasier right now. So we're going to have to deal with something about that. And in the last episode, we also conquered Mykir, Kala 4, and the space over Charis 4, or the ground of Charis 4. I would love to take on Concord Dawn in this episode. I would love to take on Manaan so that we can connect to these planets over here and also be able to get Rex. And the biggest issue is going to be trying to isolate the Malevolence. If we can isolate it, then in a future episode we can take it out. Also, let's go ahead and spin our wheels. Now, in the last episode we failed to spin our heroes wheel. At the end of this episode we will go ahead and add minor heroes to this wheel, which will be really, really good. We can now have access to Palpatine. Now, I gotta figure out what he does for us. And then we also have our challenge wheel, of course. Now, this is the last episode that I have going to have pre-recorded before I'm able to see y'all's comments. So that's really exciting. So maybe in the next episode, y'all will see a lot of new additions to the challenge wheel. Now, we did get challenge wheel number 3, which means that we cannot use infantry and we cannot use fighters or bombers. Okay, very interesting, very interesting. Yeah, it doesn't look like we're going to be fighting, well, we could take on the Malevolence without fighters and bombers, because we don't have a lot of bombers. And the fighters, I mean, they're not going to win me the battle. They're not going to lose me the battle. They would help a lot, but they're not going to be the reason why I can't win. Now, at the end of the last episode, we did unlock carrot cruisers, if I'm not mistaken. But I believe we need some of these, maybe? Or maybe we need some of these. Either way, let's go ahead and actually build both of them. Anaxes, yeah, you can give me that. Perfect. And then let's continue to group up our units.
Yes, sir.
Can't use infantry, so we're going to want to build up some more vehicles. Now we only have access to ARCs, or ATRTs, as well as LATs and TX-130s, and we're broke. Of course we are. Mike, here, you need a space station and ground defenses. And what happened to my ability to build TX-130s? There they are, right there. Perfect. Okay, we should be good for the space battle over Concord Dawn. Let's go ahead and get these guys going underway. Now, gotta remember, we can't use fighters and bombers in the space battle, or any space battle in this episode. For those who don't know the rules, check out episode 1 of the series to explain the rules. Now, how exactly that's going to look like is I would just spawn in my carriers in the back, and then I will slowly move them forward, and then I'll send my fighters away down here. We do actually get some free fighters. Of course, I can't use them, sadly. Tis is a shame. But yeah, we're just bringing my vendors and acclimators and just kind of send the fighters down here so where they're not in the fight, but I can still use the combat ships. We told our first story in the last episode. Hopefully you found that to be kind of entertaining, or at least just, once again, if you don't find it funny or entertaining, maybe learn about how dumb we are. Let's see, let's go 3 vendors. Let's get ourselves some acclimators, a couple of peltas kind of scattered about, and then of course our adjudicators. What is that shooting at me? Oh wow, their fleet is already here. I keep wanting to call these adjudicators. They're admonishers, sorry. Let's go for another pelta, and then we get the other combat pelta way in the back. Alright, all these fighters need to go away. Let's group these guys up, group 2, and then maybe you guys can just kind of do like group 3. Alright, group 2 and group 3, go ahead and start pushing forward. Looks like we're probably going to lose our typical 1 loss of an acclimator. Not a huge deal there, we always lose 1 every battle pretty much. You guys can also dip out as well. So yeah, that's how we're going to do that. It's not perfect. If you have a better idea, definitely let me know in the comment section. I'm always open to ideas here on this channel. Love to incorporate everything I can from you guys and to make y'all feel like y'all are part of the campaign. It's definitely a really, really fun thing to do. So how do we feel about the series so far? I gotta admit, I feel like we've lucked out really, really well so far when it comes to our wheel spins. We've gotten vendors, which is just absolutely insane, and then we've gotten TX-130s, which was right at the start of the campaign, which is really, really helpful. We've got anti-fighter screeners. I think the peltas are actually a really, really underrated wheel spin. That was really, really nice. That's about it. We still have a lot of wheel spins left to go. I think Anakin obviously was a really good first hero to get. Unfortunately, he seems to be a little glitched. He's advanced to his clone Tech 2, but I don't know where he went. He's on the galaxy map. We see his icon, but he's not there anymore. So I'll have to ask the developers what is up with that, and so in the next episode I'll hopefully have that answer. What are our holes? Our holes in the Navy, we don't really have a huge hole. I think the biggest two holes that we have in the Navy are no real ship-to-ship frigates and cruisers. Something like a Dreadnought or maybe like an Acclimator 2. And then another really big hole that we have would be, we have a huge lack of ion weapons. We have 0 ion weapons at all, I think, unless the Carracks can build them, which we don't have any Carracks right now, but we do have access to build them at least. You're seeing the impact of not having fighters. I don't have the ability to cover my units here. Shouldn't be too significant in this battle, but it might allow us to have a couple of casualties that we otherwise wouldn't have had. But at least we do have the admonishers. So imagine if we had the challenge wheel of no fighters and bombers, but we didn't have something like the admonisher. That's why it's so important that we have a well-balanced fleet, and it's really nice that we do have such a well-balanced fleet. But I feel like if we were to go up against something like the Malevolence or some looser hulks, which we know the enemy has, some ion-based units would be really, really helpful. On the ground side of things, I feel like we have, once again, a pretty well-balanced army. We have all sorts of infantry, both Phase 1 and Phase 2, as well as we have anti-rocket or anti-armor rockets, as well as regular clone troopers. So no legions yet. We will hopefully get those in a wheel spin pretty soon. Lost an Acclimator and an Admonisher. And then we're doing pretty good on the vehicles. We don't have... I'm going to use just one of those, so I don't have too many units I don't have access to yet. What do we do here? Okay, yeah. Ground battle over Concord Dawn. Looks like we got a mission alert here. Hunt shipyard successful. We're going to use one of those peltas. Take a stealth unit to Celis Vaughn. Sure, we can do that. Looks like she's already on her way. But look at that. I'm clicking Anakin Skywalker and he's not here. I don't know if that's because of our era or maybe something else. So you'll have to let me know if you know. Like I said, I'll definitely ask the developers. Rathatok should be up there. Yes, it is. Perfect. And we can jump into this ground battle. Can't use vehicles, or no, can't use infantry. So we'll have to make sure that we use our vehicles here at Concord Dawn. Just gonna have just a balance. Nice little balance here. Holes in our army. The biggest hole that we have, like a legitimate hole, is no heavy tank. We do have TX-130s, which are doing pretty good job in that light vehicle role, but when we go up against things like OG-9s, MTTs, snail tanks especially, we're going to want something that has more anti-armor piercing capabilities, some maybe even some like shield. What in the world? I didn't even do that. Alright, that's weird. Yeah, so that would be really, really nice. But other than that, I feel like we're doing pretty good. Something like an ATTE would be really, really useful. Some artillery would always be nice. Some artillery would be really, really good. But I feel like we're doing pretty solid when it comes to the balance of our army as well. Now, we are one loss of a challenge wheel to losing one unit, and that could really punish us. Imagine if we lost our TX-130s. All of a sudden, we don't have any sort of anti-vehicle. Our best anti-vehicle would probably be the anti-vehicle our heavy troopers. That would probably be the best thing that we had, but then they're really slow. They are inconsistent with their weapon accuracy and firepower, so that wouldn't be ideal. So it's really important that we do continue to win our challenge wheels, but I believe we'll continue to do that, so I'm not too worried about it. Okay, we got some Mandalorians we gotta be a little bit afraid of. Looks like all they have is a cantina here, which is nice. But I think this is going to get really interesting, as with all Empire at War campaigns. The later on you get, the more tough battles you have, the more tons of unit battles you have, and it's going to be really interesting once we have to take on planets like Skako Minor, Forost, Cato Nemordia. Even Freyja is going to be a hard planet to take. I think we're going to go for Manaan next, but after that, I think our next play is going to go for Skako Minor. Or actually probably Cato Nemordia, but they have a defense platform here. So it's going to be really, really tough. These next couple episodes are going to be really good, especially with, obviously, the new threat, which is currently still on Freyja. Okay. With that being said, let's go for Manaan. I think that's going to be the next planet we go for. Sitting on some credits here, we've got a couple of those being built. Oh, we did get access to this. Are Carracks over here? No, they are not. Alright, so we're looking for these shipyards to be built. We could go for some technologies here. Let's go for Republic Fightercraft 1. This will allow us to hopefully be able to build some bombers in the future, which would really help us out, as well as even some fighters would also be nice. Are we advancing into ground technologies right now? I don't believe so. Let's go for vehicles. We need some more vehicles, especially some ATTEs would be really, really nice. So if we can dilute the wheel with some more vehicles, maybe we don't have to worry about getting the ATTEs. And let's go for Manaan. Should be a solid planet to go for next. Oh, we do have a wheel span. Let's go ahead and spin that wheel. Here we go. I believe the wheel is still fully filled out. I might be missing a couple of units that I'll check out after this video. Okay, Dreadnoughts. Dreadnoughts. Not the best thing on the wheel for us, but definitely not the worst thing either. Dreadnoughts will allow us to have that cruiser-to-cruiser combat, I believe, a little bit better. And they can definitely be some frontline tanks rather than my acclimators. And honestly, it's definitely a little bit of a better frontline tank than a Venator. Yes, Venators have more health and are bulkier, but I don't necessarily want them to be the ones that are getting shot at. I'd rather a cheaper tank like a Dreadnought be the one that's really getting focused down. Ooh, did not put a captain out here. That's not the worst build ever, especially since we're going up against independent forces, which typically have a lot of fighters and bombers and gunships. So a ton of admonishers. A ton of admonishers. And the victory, I probably wouldn't have chose to bring in the victories, to be honest. But that's not that big of a deal. Victory, do you not have a hangar bay? You do. You have 1 and 1 V19, so not terrible, but nothing special. Fighters and bombers, you're good to go ahead and dip out of here. So this is not, there might be a carrier straight version of this thing, but I don't believe there is. I think this is it, the battle carrier. It really doesn't provide you with that much stuff.
Awaiting your orders. Your orders, General. Bearing, sir.
We do have the combat pelta in here. We got to be slightly aware of not losing that, so I would like to keep that, if at all possible, and speed this up. So far, I feel like obviously the Acclimator's probably been the MVP of the campaign, if you will. It's just such a solid unit to have early on like this. You really can't argue with having such a balanced unit. Now, it really does struggle against anti-ship combat because it's just the Acclimator 1, which I believe the Dreadnoughts can help out with. Going up against the Munificence. Our Venator is very effective against Munificence, but what about things like Diamond Cruisers? Or what about things like... I don't know, your mirror cruisers and your Longhorns, which we might be fighting a couple of in this battle right here. That's where the Dreadnought I could see being really, really beneficial for us. That's a decent question. If I were to get one unit on the wheel, what would I go for? I'd probably go for ATTEs on the ground, and then in the space, maybe like Acclimator 2s. I think Acclimator 2s would be really, really solid. I think they would definitely benefit us a lot here. Man, we do have a lot of admonishers in this fight. Definitely not a bad thing. So long are the days that we couldn't even take out a turret because all we had was acclimators. So this is the final episode that I will have pre-recorded. I expect there to be a decent amount of changes. to this campaign. Not like significant ones, it'll still be the same kind of concept. But I'm so excited to get y'all's challenges in, and I'm very curious to see what else I'll do. I might do something interesting, like another twist to where, like, if I were to lose my challenge, I lose 2 units instead of 1, especially once we get later down the line where we have a decent amount of units. Especially if y'all's challenges are really, really fun and really, really difficult. That might be a good thing to do. And just different things like that. So I could expect to see a couple of changes to this campaign. Zooms me all the way out. Yeah, y'all are good. Just plant up. We even have our Charger Corvettes right here. These are the ones you see a little bit more of. I love how the Admonisher has the CIS colors. It's so confusing. But that is really, you do see, that's like the Cynic color, I believe, right? I believe that is like the straight up Cynic color, so it's not a big surprise that our more Cynic-based ships, the Admonisher. What is the Admonisher? Frequently used by the Republic Judicial Forces to escort VIPs between planets. They're quite slow for their size, but durable and well armed. Able to fend off pirate gangs as well as other would-be attackers. Very nice.
What's my destination?
Yes, Commander.
Gosh, look at these things. Hornet cruisers. No idea what the heck that is. Let's have our Victory 1 fire at that, so you can just take this thing out. Boost your firepower. Looks like we're winning this battle slowly but surely. We're not even really losing that many units. Looks like we're probably going to lose this acclimator, but then we can just replace it immediately. You can activate your barrage ability, by the way. Let's look at that. Oh, it opens up its wings, and the missiles come flying out. The missiles come flying. There they are. I love it when it does that, man. I try to be cool and say something, and I just get absolutely denied.
I have fighter support.
Losing you, but you have your repairs. Look at that repair. It's gonna out-repair the damage. I love that. That's such a cool feature.
Ready, sir.
Of course, it helps out that it obviously doesn't have any hard points, as we know. You can only repair your hard points,
Awaiting your orders.
which definitely can create a bit of an issue sometimes. For units that don't have hard points, it's really effective, but for units that does have hard points, you can only repair those hard points, so I can't get those repairs. So repairs are definitely not overpowered, but they definitely can be used strategically on units that need those repairs.
Choose your reinforcements. Copy.
Let's get a couple more acclimators in here. Looks like I lost something else. Probably just, no, I don't think I lost any.
Give me a target.
I did lose a Pelta. Okay, I lost a Pelta. And I didn't lose any Admonishers, though.
What's my destination?
Boost up the firepower of our acclimators. Hey, look at there it is. There's a Longhorn. Just what I thought there would be.
Thank you.
Hey, you're not allowed to be here.
Provide any more cover.
It's alright, this battle's over. Just got a couple more units like this. See, I feel like the Dreadnoughts might have a little bit more success in hitting those units. Of course, their missiles are really good. The assault missiles are very effective at hitting them. That's where fighters and bombers are also going to come in handy, especially like fighters. Once we establish fighter superiority, fighters are also really good at hitting those smaller vessels and dealing some decent damage. Like if you have this massive blob, you've seen it before. When you have a massive blob of fighters, it can be really good at taking out even anti-fighter units like a Corvette and things like that.
Order confirmed.
Longhorn, such a useful unit, especially as the Black Sun. And Autorozov, just one unit left. Yeah, he's just running around here. Lost a Charger. Okay, that is not replaceable, so that's definitely not something that we would have liked to have lost, but that's all right. Let's go ahead and send our ground forces over to Manaan.
Mission log updated.
Reconnaissance successful. Very, very well. I think I got some credits for that.
Construction complete.
Looking pretty good here. Rendili is still building that 10% away from being able to hopefully build some carrot cruisers. What did we just lose? Let's see what this says right here. I don't know what we lost. Concord Dawn said it was done diplomacy-wise. Oh, we lost a planet on Concord Dawn. I must not have had enough time there to build up our units.
Construction
I'm not super worried about that right now.
updated.
It's not the end of the world. It wants us to gain planetary control of Raxus Prime. Yeah, that's not going to happen, sir. Not ideal that we lost that, but I'm not going to worry about sending my units all the way over there because we need to conquer this, and that way we can group up with them, and maybe we can go try and find the Malevolence. So let's go ahead and do this ground battle. That way we can kind of focus up and figure out where we're going from there. Only can use our vehicles. We've got our ATRTs and our 170s ready to go.
Choose your reinforcements.
Over there. Pulse cannon mobile. Order acknowledged.
So, usually what we talk about, obviously, is Star Wars. How do we feel about the new shows that have been coming out? I'll be honest with y'all. I have not been keeping up with them. The last shows that I've watched are like Book of Boba Fett and Season 1 and 2 of Mandalorian. I have not seen Skeleton Crew. I haven't seen...
Moving out.
I don't even know what they're called. I know Skeleton Crew has had some decent ratings, so I might watch that one. And I did watch Tales of the Jedi, but I haven't seen Tales of the Sith, which is something that I do look forward to watching. But there's another show that I can't think of that came out that was just really, really bad reviews on it. Nobody seemed to have liked it. But I never saw it. I never even bothered to watch it. I believe in headcanon really significantly. I'm a big fan of headcanon. And I don't know how much I love Star Wars. I literally talked about it in the last couple episodes. I love everything about Star Wars, and I don't want to ruin it because somebody tried to make money off of the great brand of Star Wars with some trash show they didn't put any time into and effort into. That's kind of my... I'm not going to get like super in deep in this. You're not going to go crazy in the Discord for all you want. But I think that's the biggest issue, is you've got people that don't love Star Wars making Star Wars shows. I think that's the really big issue there. Our vehicles can't go through here, but our ATRTs can. We should have enough ATRTs where we don't have to use infantry, otherwise we would lose our challenge, which wouldn't be ideal. Don't want to have to spin that wheel, especially this early on. The "you suck" wheel. But yeah, I feel like that's just the biggest issue, right? Is that you've got a lot of people that just don't care about Star Wars making Star Wars shows. And you've got actors and actresses that don't care about Star Wars, and also very importantly, don't know Star Wars. I feel like if you're going to act in Star Wars, you should know Star Wars. I'm not saying you have to be quite as big of a nerd as I am, but I feel like you should still care about what you're doing. If I was going on a show like Harry Potter, I don't give two flips about Harry Potter. I've seen every movie, but I find it to be highly overrated. But if I was going to be an actor for Harry Potter, I would be pouring lots of effort. I would read every book. I would watch every movie. I would watch the new show. I would read forums and different things like that to find out how to be a better actor for those movies. AT-RTs are a decent counter to bunker turrets. As I say that, I kind of realize they're not that effective. The bunker turret is capable of one-shotting our AT-RT, but the fire rate of the bunker turret is not super duper high. But a successful battle right there on Manaan, that's very good. But yeah, I just feel like there's just people that don't care about the franchise of Star Wars making shows on Star Wars, and I feel like that's really the biggest problem. But go crazy in the comment section, go crazy in the Discord, say your piece, give your 2 cents. I know I certainly have a good opinion on there. Okay, we've captured this, and we now have access to Rex. So let's definitely get Rex going in here. Oh, those are 212. We'll sell those. Don't have access to them yet. Do have a couple of clone troopers as well. Oh, and we also have a fleet and that combat variant. We won that from the mission. Keep that in mind. We did get that from the mission, so we will have access to them. And now we have Rex, which is perfect, because right now I can't seem to figure out how to get Anakin back. So we now have a hero for us. I love that. A new threat. Signal is lost, so that means he is currently in transport. Let's see where that takes us. Got at least a decent amount of credits to spend. They are building Commerce Guild Tech. That is definitely not a good thing to see. Rendili, what do you have for us? We've got Acclimator 2s. We've got Penance frigates. No, these are Syntax frigates. Well, I found it. We've got Victory 2s. Architans Command Cruisers, Architans Escort Cruisers. Here are the Carracks, so we can go ahead and start building up a bunch of those. Carrack Cruisers, what do they have for us? Ions, yep, okay, they are going to be our first Ion units. So they're going to be taking on Rhodia. That's not a good thing, because they can connect all of these planets to both Geonosis and Hypori, which is not a good thing at all. I'm going to quickly start this battle and retreat this guy out. Alright, there we go. We have retreated him out successfully. I don't know who he is, but I definitely want to make sure that we have access to him when we want him. I can't do anything about that. The Malevolence is definitely not isolated. It's actually got a huge escort fleet. Wow, we got to work on our fleet. I need a second fleet is really what I need. So let's continue to build our Minotaurs. Let's get some more Acclimators as well. Wow, that is a big problem. So this campaign is definitely turning on its heels very quickly here. So that's going to be the end of the episode. I know it's a shorter one, but when I come back, I will have no more pre-recorded episodes, so I will have the additions on the challenge wheel. We did complete our challenge, and I am going to spin the wheel. Just this one time. After today's episode, we will have everybody else on here, all the minor heroes. And it looks like we're going to have access to Yoda, so very good, very good. So yeah, stay tuned for the next episode, and I will see y'all then.